Hello friends, I am Chevy. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope it's fantastic. Everything here is good. This is the top to the shoe dresser. Calling it a shoe dresser because that's what it is. If you haven't been following along, I am building a 3-drawer dresser to hold shoes. It'll sit in a hallway. It's only about 14 inches deep, and it's really made to just fit like 6 to 8 pairs of shoes in a drawer, and there's 3 drawers. This is the top, which I'm moderately happy with. I shouldn't say very. I'm moderately happy with it. It's nice and smooth, nice and flat. It's not cupped or curved. There's a few things. This is made out of 2x8s, 2x10s, made out of 2x10s. I ripped the outside of some 2x10s to get rid of the pith, and then biscuits and pocket hold it together. Did a little bit of work with a planer. Here we are. It's nice and smooth. You can hear a little texture. I just need to buff it. This is the final coat, which was a satin wipe-on poly. The reason that this isn't great is this is southern yellow pine. That's in my area the vast majority of boards that are not 2x4s. So 2x4s you will find listed as white pine or maybe fir. You can sometimes find Douglas fir 2x4s. Everything that's a 2x6 and up in my area is southern yellow pine, which is a good wood. Southern yellow pine is very strong. It is a softwood. It's classified as a softwood, but it's pretty hard. Like, this is not something I can dent with a fingernail, but like this I can absolutely dent with a fingernail. The thing is, it's yellow. So this is a gray stain. I don't know how well this is coming across. This is a gray stain on southern yellow pine. And there you can see it's pretty streaky, which is intentional. I wanted that look. So the streaks are yellow. They're a yellower, much yellower than the cabinet. And so it looks a little bit different than the cabinet, but that's okay. This isn't intended to be like fine furniture. This is literally just screwed together pine. The other thing is, I really shouldn't. I thought I would get crazy. Well, I did get crazy. For some reason, I had a couple of gaps. I think that I did okay. So if you want to join 2 pieces of wood together, you've got these 2 pieces of wood, and you want to glue them together like this. Well, this is a really good example. These angles are not 90 degrees. So if I tried to glue this together, I don't know how well you can tell, but it turns into a cup because these aren't 90 degrees. Whereas if I set this on a flat surface, I can see there's a huge gap up here where the bottom is touching. So normally the way you fix this is you take this to your jointer, which is a device that's a spinning blade down here, and you run this across the top, and it makes this 90 degrees. And then you do the same on this, and then bam, you put it together. Well, what happens if, and it's extremely likely, especially because I don't check mine ever, your jointer isn't exactly 90 degrees. It probably never will be. It'll probably be like 89.8 and whatever. If you do that, you're going to be, this angle is never going to be a perfect flush fit. So what you do in that case is you take this board and you put the underside or the outside face to the fence. And then you put this one with the good face to the fence. So you marry the two together. You don't move, but anyway. And what happens is if there was an error in this angle, it will be complementary so that when it goes together, it fits. So that's what I did. I did it on these, but I only have a little 4-inch jointer with like maybe an 18-inch in-feed and out-feed. And so for some reason, I got some gaps once the pocket holes went together, and I screwed this to the bench. The top opened up. So I thought I would fill those, and instead of the traditional way, well, it's not a very traditional way, let's be honest. The YouTube way, the traditional YouTuber way to fix that is to fill it with glue and sawdust. No real woodworker does that. I will tell you that right now. In a shop environment, nobody is mixing wood glue and sawdust. That is just for YouTube because it dries fast and it's passable. In reality, not on camera, if you look at it with wood glue and sawdust, it does not look good. It doesn't take stain. The finish makes it yellow. It looks disgusting. It looks terrible. Nobody in the real world is doing that. So I thought, I'm going to accentuate these cracks, since this is kind of a rustic looking piece anyway. I mean, I've stained it with, I think this is called weathered gray. Yeah, weathered gray. So this is supposed to look like a rustic, craft kind of piece. I'll just accentuate these cracks, and I filled them with black cyanoacrylate, black super glue, and it looks terrible. It didn't. The super glue kind of got in good in some places, not in others. So it looks dotted, it looks gappy. And it stands out way too much. I knew I was staining this gray, so I thought maybe that would be neat. It's not neat. It just looks bad. But who cares? It's going to sit in a hallway and have stuff on top of it and a coat rack hanging above it. Nobody's looking at this. If you come to my house and you go, man, that looks great except for that black, I'll just kick you out. I won't. But it's basically done. I put the 4th coat of finish on this last night, 2nd coat of finish on the rest. I just need to buff with, this is quadruple aught synthetic steel wool. I will rub all of the roughness out of this. Let's see if you hear that. If you do a quick little rub down, I don't know that you heard a difference there, but you can feel the difference. It'll get rid of all the little nibs, and it'll be nice. And then I've got just some wooden knobs that I also stained. I finished these with lacquer, so they're a little bit more wear resistant, because that's where you're going to be opening these drawers all the time. So I just need to put it together, adjust the drawer slides, and then lock those in place. I don't know, when I put drawer slides in, I don't know if you've ever used roller bearing drawer slides. Usually, so you got 2 pieces, one that goes on the drawer, one that goes in the cabinet. The one that goes in the cabinet is usually slotted for back and forth movement, and the one that's on the drawer is slotted for up and down movement. Personally, I hate that because the weight of the drawer will inevitably make it shift. I wish it was the other way around. I don't know why slide manufacturers do it that way. I would rather have up and down movement on the cabinet side. Whatever. What I like to do is put it all together with all of the screws in those slots. Then with no weight in the drawers, I can get the drawer set perfectly, and then I don't have a thing to show you. The drawer slides will have a slot. It'll look something like this. Let's see if I can draw an example real quick. This is exciting, isn't it? Especially if you're listening on the podcast and I'm just sitting here drawing something. So the drawer slides will have a slot, and then in front of it, or sometimes behind it, will be a hole that's just the size of the screw. So I'll put the screw in this slot, get it set, and then I'll put a new screw in this hole and lock it in place. And that way the drawer is not moving up and down, back and forth with weight or with time or force or whatever. So I need to do that. A couple of them I put together. I try to put things together on the bench, then put it in. There was maybe one that I needed to adjust the slides afterwards. And so I'll get those all in there, get them all set up, and then I'll lock them all in place with some extra screws, put it all back together, take it upstairs, it's done, I'm done, move on with my life. Excited about that. Kid has got band and other stuff going on tonight, so I have the time. I will come down here after work and finish this thing, and then maybe I'll show it to you tomorrow or something. We'll see. What do you got going on? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends and wonderful people. I really appreciate you. And I'll see you again tomorrow. Today's word you should know to sound smart is separatist, is a noun meaning those who believe in a particular religion or group should be separated from a larger whole. Some separatist Canadians want Quebec to be a separate nation from the rest of Canada. Separatist. S-E-P-A-R-A-T-I-S-T-S. I have heard about Quebec. Is it like, I don't honestly know. Is it like the California of Canada? Is it like the the coastal majority in the U.S.? Is that what's happening in Quebec?